All right, what is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to a second attempt at this episode of Talking Buffalo, your weekday daily driver for Buffalo Sports Talk and more. My name is Patrick Moran. Thank you so much for watching, hopefully for a second time, for listening to the podcast. For the majority of people actually be listening to this sometime on Friday. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Big shout out to both our sponsors, Sunny Reds, 1841 Aber Road, and Imperial Pizza, 1035 Aber Road. I got to get right into this. So hopefully some people start to file back in. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, and hopefully you are, we had a stream going live. We're live literally minutes after the Buffalo Bills moved to 3-0. They beat the Miami Dolphins 31-21, and 5 minutes or so into the stream, as Joe cracks a beer here, the stream died. I don't know what happened. He went to mute. I don't know what happened. The platform issue. It was already popping.
You went to mute.
I did not go to mute. It was something happened to the platform. I literally didn't even touch a button. But again, hopefully some people are back here for a second time.
Fine. I retweeted it. We're good, bro. I ate my 2 slices of pizza that I was going to show everyone off because I was starving.
You ate those 2 pieces of pizza that quick?
Yes.
And then you went back to the beer?
And now I'm at Pill's Country because I have to drink something. And Pat came on very angry. So please, everyone, retweet this link because Pat's about to kill everyone. And I'm serious. He's angry. I think he would kill me if I was in studio right now.
That's very frustrating because, we got into the game. Well, at least I did. You didn't even get a chance to talk.
I couldn't hear anything about what the hell you said.
Well, exactly. And like I said, we tried to get on right after the game, and we did. And the live chat was popping. But anyway, whatever. There's nothing we can do about it now. It's over.
Give me your take. Give us your takes, buddy. Let's go into your takes about the Bills win.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. This live audience. If you're filing in now, I do appreciate you. Anyway, let's get to this game that just wrapped up about 20 minutes or so ago. The Buffalo Bills, not pretty, but they're 3-0, dude. They beat the Miami Dolphins 31-21. Everything about this game and the vibes right now, even before this happened with our platform, feels very weird and off to me. I don't know if it's because it's a Thursday night game. I don't know if it's because we were expecting Buffalo to have an easier go at it. Miami was very game tonight. 2 self-inflicted mistakes really meant the difference in this game. And we're going to get to a lot of this. Really helter-skelter. Usually when a game's decided, you get a lot of notes at a time. I'm kind of going on the fly. Where did you watch the game, by the way? Because Joe's like 3 beers, 3 shots in, a couple slices of pizza as he's drinking another beer. Where did you enjoy this game?
KCBC, Bills game. So my friend Sam, who used to be a blogger way back in the day, it's his birthday, so we went to a bar down the street from my apartment, and we watched it from there. So it's like an Irish tavern, so your people. And we had some big shots. It was great. We had a good time. And he's usually a little bit of a jinx. Like we watched the AFC Championship game last year, and it didn't work out, obviously, unfortunately. But, it was, it was fun. I drank, and hopefully I'm going to stay sober-ish. I won't say anything too controversial and piss off Pat because Pat is intense right now. So again, everyone
intense right now, man.
Retweet everything. I have to be on my best behavior. I can't even call him Pandering Pat because he might kill me right now. So
there's a lot of people following in, and like I said, sometimes I forget it's not just about the people that are watching live in the moment. More people are going to be listening. I want to keep going back to issues with the stream because a lot of people aren't even going to know.
He needs to beat out Bill Squad. He needs to beat out.
Cover one, Overreaction Sports. I'm sure, Sal's going to be on pretty soon, and Perino.
Perino, he needs to beat them. If he doesn't beat them, he's not going to be hard tonight for his wife. So, gotta get him hard, guys.
All right, so listen, we're going to talk about a lot of components from the game. Like I said, the good, the bad, the ugly, kind of on the fly. But for me, this came down to 2 plays in this football game. There were 2 plays in this game that literally, I feel like, decided the game. The first one, an absolutely inexcusable mistake by the Miami Dolphins. If you're a Dolphins fan, you're sitting there, and it was probably very Billsy, like all the 17 years that we went through when you find ways to lose games. The Miami gets a big stop. The game is tied. The momentum is turned. Buffalo is forced to punt. And on 4th and 7, Zach Zeiler, one of the better defensive tackles in the league, roughs the kicker, or roughs the punter, I should say, and it gives the Bills a first down. It wasn't even running into the kicker. Running into the kicker would have still made it 4th and 2, and they would have had a decision to make. This was roughing the kicker. It leads to Buffalo getting a first down at the 36. They cash in on a Khalil Shakir touchdown to make it 28-21. And then Miami's got the ball, and then they're driving. And Tua, who played, I thought, responsible football, who the Bills had a lot of trouble disrupting his timing. He didn't throw for a lot of yards, but his timing was good. His accuracy, for the most part, was pretty good. He didn't get sacked. Up until this point, he didn't have a turnover. He actually made a couple plays with his legs. I thought Tua played a reasonably good enough to have his team in the game and be in position to win. And then Deion Walker for the Bills, which, by the way, we'll talk about this. The Bills' defensive line, for the most part, I thought was pathetic in this football game. We'll talk about that. But Deion Walker beats his guy, gets a great pressure, and Tua throws a ball. He does not see Terrel Bernard. And it was one of the more Tua-y kind of interceptions that you've seen a lot with this guy. Terrel Bernard picks it off, goes down the field. Those are the two plays right there. The Bills cements it on a 3rd down pass. Josh Allen, with great vision, finds Elijah Moore. Bam, 30-yard play. Pretty much ball game over. But talk about that, Joe. For me, I mean, there's a lot of factors, and we'll get to some of them, but it was 2 plays. It was the roughing the kicker or the punter, and it was the very bad interception from Tua when they were threatening to tie or maybe even take the lead late in the 4th.
Sure. I wasn't concerned at all during this game. I
Really?
thought they were, I was like, they're going to win this. And like, that, it might have been the alcohol. I'm not going to lie there. I thought they were going to win this. Like, during the game, they outplayed Miami. And yeah, there were plays that we can definitely talk about and like long-term, like some issues, but I thought this was going to be a close game going into this game, and I just was confident throughout the whole thing. I swear to God, like if you followed me on Blue Sky, I was like, they're going to win this, but the defense needs to work on some shit, in terms of that or other things. But I don't think it was down to 2 plays like you're saying it. I thought
Really?
No, I thought Buffalo outplayed them. I mean, look, there are issues a little bit, but I just thought like they were gonna be fine. And look, there are things they gotta get better at, but I had all the confidence in the world. And again, it could be the alcohol, and I'll wake up tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure. I think it might be the alcohol, buddy.
No, you're just you're over. We've done this so many times before. After a game, you're very emotional, and I know you're angry.
That's fair.
We lost our stream or whatever, and I'm usually like, hey, what do you want to do? I mean, I look, if you want to look at 2 plays, fine. I think in totality, they have 2 things that I think go back to last year that were issues that were issues in this game. 3rd down defense and 0 down the field passing. Like 0. And
those are good points.
And those were things last year that we saw. And again, their 3rd down, I think I saw it, like they were 10 of 15.
Miami was 8 for 10 in the first half on 3rd downs.
Yeah, they were incredible. Like, and that was ridiculous. We saw that last year. There was 0 down the passing for the Bills offense, but there's a big part of me that thinks to myself, Dalton Kincaid, he dropped that 1 touchdown pass in the first half. That would have made it 21-7.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I don't know that he dropped it. I think that was a good defensive play
sure,
too.
Whatever you want to say, but it was a good whatever.
But yeah, he didn't come down with it.
Again, I had like 4 beers at that point.
Sure.
But I thought if he catches that, the game's going to be over. Like, then Miami's going to be in trouble. Then Prater misses a field goal, and then they have new life. And I do believe in momentum. I know the fucking content bro, not the content bros, but the nerdalytics people don't believe in that. I do. And I think it would have been over at that point or really close to it. But that's how I took it. But I was super confident that they were going to beat Miami. but like I didn't think it was going to be. You said it in the old stream, I think, where it was like a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're going to obliterate Miami." I didn't
Yeah.
believe that. I thought they were going to. I think I picked Miami. I think I picked 30-24 was my final score. And I thought Miami was going to play tough, and they were in it, but there were some miscues by the Bills, and it was a very weird game in terms of I felt the Bills should have ran away with it at times. But look, they won by 10. They almost beat the spread. So it's if you look at if you give a shit about Vegas, they lost by Vegas had them by 12, they won by 10.
Yeah. I had them winning by 11. I was really I actually had the score 34-23 was my prediction on the show yesterday.
Sure.
So it's not the final score that surprises me. And again, look, this is the NFL, man. It's never easy to win, and Sean McDermott's going to say that. I'm sure he's saying all the right things right now. I don't think Miami was ever in control of this game. I'm not going to go there, but I don't think Buffalo, to your point, I don't think they dominated this game because I don't think their defense played good enough to be a dominant performance. The 2 points, let's start here, all right? Again, let's not make this into too much of a Neggy Nancy show because at the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills are 3-0. That's what it's all about. The Miami Dolphins are 0-3. By the way, the Bills are also already 2-0 in their division. Everything is trending up. It feels like they escaped this game, we'll see, without any significant injury. So there's a lot of good things to talk about, and I certainly want to try to get to as many of them as we can. But you brought up two really good points about things that with this team that are not right now, and that was their inability to make stops on third down. They were 10 of 15. Miami was 10 of 15 for this game on third down. So yeah, that was a problem, and not throwing the ball down the field. During the game, at one point, I don't remember what drive it was, but it was somewhere in the second half. It was one drive where Josh Allen on second and third down threw balls that didn't even travel 3 yards in the air. Yeah. And I said to my son Shane, well, watch the game with. I'm like, I cannot wait to watch, to be a film bro, Joe. I cannot wait to watch this game back. I need to see, are these receivers not getting open, or is Josh Allen just being extra cautious with the football and not wanting to take any chances whatsoever? Because if these receivers weren't, and again, this game just ended. We haven't watched it back. I don't know. But if the Bills were struggling to get open at all in the intermediate downfield, that's alarming to me because this Miami secondary was whack. This was a practice squad caliber secondary, especially at corners. They had 4 guys out and another one got hurt. Nobody's getting open. That to me was surprising. Now, were they dropping everybody back and just saying, hey, you're going to have to throw underneath? Again, we'll have to watch it back. So both your points are well taken. I'm going to throw one in for you as well. Actually, I'm going to throw 2 for you that we'll discuss here at the top. Number 1, props to Deion Walker in a big point of this game, making a play. And he also had 2 good run stops. So I'm going to remove Deion Walker from this equation. I thought the rookie had a very good game. By the way, a lot of people commenting in the live. I'll try to get to some of those in just a few minutes. I thought Deion Walker had a pretty good game. Where's the rest of the defensive line? They were against a Miami offensive line that was missing 3 starters. I thought the defensive line played like shit for the majority of this game. Greg Rizzo, I almost feel like minus 1 play, maybe 2. You could put him on a milk carton so far this season. Greg Rizzo has not been very good. Joey Bosa was okay, did a couple things, but DeQuan Jones, 1 or 2 plays. TJ Sanders, that second round rookie, bro, I don't know what it is. He's getting pushed around. He does not look ready to be on an NFL field right now. I'm not going to say he won't become a great player, but right now he does not look ready to me at all. And my conclusion is Ed Oliver that good? Joe, I'm asking you, is Ed Oliver that important to this defensive line that when they're playing a team that's not the New York Jets who can hurt you with the passing game or a good running back or whatever? This was a frustrating game, this defense, and they made some stops and they got a turnover, but defensive line, they couldn't get to 2-0 with 4 guys pretty much the entire game.
I would say if you're going to compare the offense and defense, like what concerned me the most coming out of this game, it would definitely be the defense. And it was things that we've talked about, like couldn't get off the field on third down. You're right. Greg Rousseau has not started the season yet. I mean, I
No.
haven't noticed him at all.
He had
the
one
first
nice
3
pass
games.
rush that forced Tua to incompletion, but outside of that, nope. I agree.
It was tough. I thought Shaq Thompson had a good game. He made some good plays considering he was sitting.
He did.
Like on
Him
the
and
bench.
Dorian Williams weren't a problem. I'll say
Yeah.
that. I mean, they missed a couple tackles, not perfect, but they weren't the problem. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but it was definitely not a great day for the defense, and the third down defense was bad. And in terms of Ed Oliver's impact, look, Ed Oliver was great in that opener. They probably miss him. They probably miss a little bit of Matt Milano too.
Mhm.
There is concern about Greg Rousseau, and it's like one topic I would say you should run next week is like, I mean it's early, but it's like look at the extensions of who the Bills gave to this offseason, and like all of the extensions haven't been. I mean it's early, and I'm saying this in a hot take. Like if I was Stephen A. Smith and I was like, you're in charge of like the Buffalo First Take show. None of them have like been like great so far in 3 games. Like Shakir, he scored a touchdown, but he's got 4 catches.
Right.
Benford, I feel like has kind of been picked on a little bit more than I thought he was going to be. Like people have been going after him. Rousseau, that's the biggest one. That's the biggest one to me. Like contrived. Like I'm being contrived there, but Rousseau hasn't done shit. Like we have not seen a damn thing from him. Bernard made some plays tonight. I felt like I saw like he made okay, but defensively they had look. I was not blown away by their defense. But Miami, you got to give credit to Miami. I don't think Miami is nearly as terrible as it was led to be. And the Bills, they beaten them, but it's been a struggle at times. Like it hasn't been blowout. So I think we have to put that in consideration.
I agree with you. I want to get. I disagree about one of your takes. And again, we're watching this in real time right now, so we'll go back. Maybe you might have a different opinion when you see where things.
That's not going to help.
Yeah, and you're buzzed up, man. Yeah. I thought Terrel Bernard had a good game. All right, he shot a couple gaps. He made a couple.
That's what I said.
He was physical.
Yeah.
Oh, you said he made a good play or so. I thought he actually had a good game.
I agree. I thought he had a good game. I'm sorry.
And he did. Plays. And even if he didn't, what Terrel Bernard typically brings this defense, just like Teron Johnson, they'll give up some plays, they'll make some mistakes, but they seem to make up for it. I want to get to one other thing.
Tyler Rapp, by the way, had a rough game a little bit. Like
he did. He almost hurt. More friendly fire from him. Luckily, Christian Bedford only got. Yeah, he should have had an interception on that play too. But here's a guy, we haven't mentioned him yet. I know he's been burning up the live chat the first time around, the second time around too. The Bills are going, if they don't have one already, you saw a preview of what I think is going to be a big Trey White problem. I think the Bills have go watch this game back. I'm telling you, the Bills have a Trey White problem. He's actually been good in run support, which is ironic because that's like his weakness. But there were a couple plays. All right, so I'll give you a couple plays. One, the crossing route, which, you know what, you can't expect him to run with Waddle. Maybe that's more on Babbage than Trey White. But the soft cushions that he does, he got beat on that quick slant. He was giving up 5 yards from the 2-yard line on the Waddle touchdown. Terrible coverage. I think he's the liability. I cannot believe 3 weeks in that teams are not attacking him more than they did. And there was also one play, Joe, if you think I was mad about the stream crashing, you should have been in my house about 3 minutes left or so in the first half because Bobby Babbage dialed up the perfect blitz. It's third down. The Bills are up 7. Trey White has a clean run at Tua and whiffs on him. Bro, this ain't Lamar Jackson, man. This is Tua. And Trey White whiffed. Tua gets outside of him. They get the first down. They run the clock all the way down to 11 seconds. They score a touchdown. Trey White, to me, was responsible for the rest of that drive because if he does what he's supposed to do, a clear shot at the quarterback, a perfectly dialed up play, then they're punting. And the Bills got the ball a chance to double dip. That was a pivotal, like, not as big as the roughing the kicker or the punter, obviously, because that literally lost them the game. I feel like it contributed to it. Trey White did not play well. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You could disagree, and it looks like you do disagree with me.
I mean, look. The final stats for Tua was 22 or 34 for 146 yards.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to be very angry at Trey White. I thought, like you said, he was good.
I don't know if I'm angry. I mean, I'm in the moment. Well, I just think he played a lousy game.
You're angry because, like, you the stream died and all that. No, but
Marino's legacy is on your side, by the way. He thinks I'm delusional. That's fair. That's
have
fair.
to,
Hey.
look. I don't want to say I have to watch the film, but I have to watch the condensed version. I don't watch the film. I watch the condensed version, but I can't be that angry about the pass. I thought today the issue was the pass rush wasn't existing. It just wasn't there. Missed tackles were very bad. I think you're being a little bit harsh on Trey. I thought missed tackles and like lack of pass rush is what was not great. But again, 146 yards. If you told me before this game started, Tua's going to have 146 yards passing, I was
on 34 pass attempts too. So you're right about
they had
that.
They both of these teams didn't throw the ball long at all. They were just like, let's throw it short for the whole fucking game. But I thought the lack of pass rush was my biggest issue. I didn't realize it wasn't on. I think you hate Trey White. I think you don't like the hockey.
I do not hate Trey White, man.
You're against Trey White.
I will tell you this. I'll tell you this. I am actively, as he should be. I mean, he's the first round pick, but God, I hope Max Harrison is the real deal. He'll be back after week 4. He can practice. He won't play till after the bye, but I hope he gets out there, and I hope the Bills see what they have. I got a feeling though Sean McDermott is going to be pretty married to Trey all year, just like he was to DeMar Hamlin last year.
See. I mean, we'll see. But like, I think overall, my biggest concern was the pass rush. The pass rush did not exist tonight. It did not. And like
you're right.
You said,
that's the biggest problem. I'm not going to disagree with you.
Problem. I don't think Trey.
Not with 4 men. The pass rush with the defensive line was non-existent, except for when they absolutely had to have it once.
When you are shitty on third down, and these were like third and longs. These weren't like fucking third and inches. That's on the defensive front 4. You're supposed to get to the quarterback, and I think that was the bigger issue is like there was no pass rush. No one, tell me one defensive lineman who had a good game tonight.
Deion Walker. That's it.
Oh, yeah,
the end. That's it. The end. There is no one else on the defensive line who had a good game tonight. Not from my in the moment reaction. Maybe the film will tell otherwise.
Well, I'm not watching the film, unlike you and Film Bros 2.0. Is there anything you liked about this game? Because you've been negative the whole time. You've been angry because you're sure.
There's a lot I liked.
Well, tell me, what do you like?
Well, what did I? Well, first of all, I like that they won the game. All right, that's the biggest thing.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Here's 2 things that I think we take for granted with the Bills that we gloss over. You and I and everyone else who covers this team.
I'm not glossing over it. I know everything. Go ahead.
There's 2 factors I think that we just don't give enough credit for. All right, here's what they are. Number 1, the offensive line. The offensive line is phenomenal. Bro, this is a phenomenal. Josh Allen, well, he got dumped twice today, technically. So now, 4 sacks now in 3 games they've given up, all right? James Cook went for over 100 yards today. And again, Josh Allen sacked twice in 28 pass attempts. I think the offensive line gets taken for granted. They were good tonight. They're good every game. All right, that's one. Here's the other thing. Guess what just happened for an NFL record 25 consecutive times? The Bills won the turnover battle.
Great.
25 consecutive games, the most in the history of the NFL. That's literally, to me, the difference in this football game. The Bills didn't turn it over. The Bills have not turned the ball over in 3 weeks. The Bills haven't almost turned the ball over. Actually, Brandon Condrickson fumbled a punt today, so he did flirt with the turnover. But the Bills have not turned the ball over once this season. They got the 1 turnover when they needed it in the 4th quarter. So you want to talk about things I like? I do. I like the offensive line, and I like the fact that they do not turn the ball over and that they get the opponent the turnover. That's not all I like, too, but we'll start there.
Okay. First off, turnovers bore me. I don't give a shit about. I mean,
well, that's a stupid take. That's crazy.
It's not. Turnovers are punts at the end of the day. I know you love turnovers, and like I'm glad they have 30 fucking games in a row or whatever. You and whoever want to jerk off to that, fine. I thought,
oh God,
no, I'm serious. I mean, look, I like Josh Allen dealing and wheeling. I'm down with Josh Allen being the like 400-yard guy from like 2020 and 2021, and like get the turnovers. Who cares? You got 45 points. But it's fine. We're just that's just me arguing for the sake of arguing. I thought James Cook had a great game.
Yeah,
I thought he was physical. He had some great runs. He did have like a little bit of like I think at some point he had like 7 carries for 70 yards, something ridiculous. He was
they sold. I think they started selling out a lot more in the second half to get him.
And that's where you have to beat them deep, like, and that's the thing the Bills have to be better at. But like, I think we should kiss James Cook's ass for a little bit.
100%.
Yeah, well, I'm getting there. You're talking about the offensive line because you love them, and I'm talking about the fucking running back who was really good. He broke some good tackles today. He was physical. He's their best offensive weapon right now. And I thought he had a great game. And, this is the alcohol talking, but
I was going to say, I'm going to give you a chance to correct that. You mean he's their second best weapon on offense.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, aside from Josh, obviously, buddy. But he was great tonight, and like he is their X factor. And I think if there's anything, I don't know what the final stats will be, but like they need to do more play action tonight. Like, look, you have, as you said, they were keen on Cook when he was having his 7 for 77 yards or whatever he had, 7 carries for 77 yards. That's when you got to play action there. And they didn't do enough of that going down the field. But look, James Cook is great. He's after Josh, he's their best offensive weapon. He's break tackles. He is a dynamic running back. Like, props to him. I'm glad they paid him. And good for him. What's this? Go read some comments.
I'm going to read this one because, again, I think you're going. I know this is, to be fair, this is being your comment. You would prefer the Bills to turn the ball over twice, but Josh throws for 400 yards every game. That's been your stance all along. I think that's absolute insanity.
No, it's but I'm sick and tired of these turnover bullshits. Like, you know what? You're acting like the Bills before this were like fucking 9-8. They were the same record.
Tell me this wasn't the same defense tonight that you saw last year, too. Frustrating, maddening, can't get off the field. Miami was 11 for 16 on 3rd and 4th downs in this game. So they couldn't get off the field, but they got the turnover when they had some stops and they got the turnover. Well, they did.
Yeah, fine. But Josh, fine. Josh didn't throw a pick. Great. Let's have a.
Well, he threw for 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Okay, sure, but I'm just saying you're like, oh my god, they've won 25 in a row and fucking no turnover battle. Like, great.
I can't believe you don't think that matters more.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Let's do this on the video side anyway.
Time out. Jesus,
quick 3-second break. Let Joe get like 2 sips of his beer, and on the video side, we will literally be right back, folks. All right, back here with a very bored by the turnovers stat, Joe from Queens. Let's talk about.
I'm just saying, everyone jerks. You know what it is? It's like everyone in the national media jerks off over that stat, and I'm just like, turnovers are the most overrated thing. I just think that. But look, hey, I'm happy. They're 3-0. I think you're being very negative this entire podcast.
I feel like I am completely not being that negative.
No, you're negative. You came on swearing. You started talking shit about.
Well, we lost a stream that had 500-600 people in it within 5 minutes.
Podfather would not be happy with you. Bruce All Lazy would not be happy with you. None of these people would be happy with you right now. But look, I think coming away in a positive way out of this game is that James Cook looked good. If Dalton Kincaid makes that fucking catch, this is like the Dalton Kincaid game.
I thought Dalton Kincaid had an excellent game, by the way.
He did, but I'm just saying, if he caught that one pass, I know it was like, I have to look at the replay again. That was
good defense. I'm telling you, it was a tough catch.
I'll believe
what
you.
I'll say is this. Here's what I will say. Josh Allen you could not make a more perfect throw. You couldn't make a more perfect throw than when Josh Allen put that ball. But the defenseman kind of got his hand on his arm a little bit. Dalton Kincaid had 5 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. That's what you want to see from Dalton Kincaid. He had a really good game. And also, I pointed this out on Twitter in the first half. He blocked.
Oh, the blocking. The blocking.
That doesn't matter either. So turnovers and blocks.
I don't care about
blocking. So fantasy football, Joe thinks turnovers and blocking doesn't matter.
Oh, can we, we haven't even, see, this is how negative you are. We haven't talked about Josh Allen a little bit. Josh Allen, he is like Houdini. Like, you need like 13 guys defending that guy because he just gets the ball out, like doing these little shuffle passes out of nowhere. And it's like, what the hell? Like, he's just such a talented, like, he's Houdini. He really is. Like, he's running, and all of a sudden, the touchdown pass to your boy, the blocking tight end. I forgot
Jackson
his name.
Hawes. Jackson Hawes.
Elite tight end. I'm sure the film bros are gonna love him. But like,
This
he
is
does a little shuffle pass to him, and it's just like, how did you get that out? Like, he's the king of improvising, and just like, thank God for him. Obviously.
This is the second time in 3 weeks, Joe, that the tight ends have played a pretty prominent role in the offensive success. Week 1, 7 targets, 7 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. And then today, like I said, Kincaid, 5 for 66 with a touchdown. Jackson Hawes had a touchdown, so 2 of their 3 touchdown passes go to the tight end. So we're going over things we like. We talked about Cook. Look, Josh Allen, what is he? 22 of 28, 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no almost interceptions either. And he had a 19-yard run, too, in this game, too, which was pretty nice. Look, Josh Allen did what Josh Allen does, man. He was better than the other quarterback.
And like, he just kills Miami. Like, I think now he's at like 40 touchdowns against them.
How do you feel? How do you feel if you're Miami? If you're a Miami fan, if this is talk in Miami right now, how are you feeling after this game?
I don't know. They don't care. They're going to the beach. Their fans don't give a shit. No, I'm kidding.
How you feeling?
You know, it's funny. I was at the bar watching the game, and there was this guy he had a Miami Dolphins shirt there, and I never see Miami fans ever around here. And like, at some point, this was the alcohol talking. I started doing the Miami Dolphins song, like Miami Dolphins. And then he looked at me and he was like, dude, don't be that way. And I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. And he's like, look, I just wanted to be close. And I'm like, they were close tonight. And that's where they're at. They're at Bills drought-esque of like, just be close right now. But
you know how I look at Miami right now at this point in time? I still hate the football team. I almost pity the fans in a way. Like, they talk their shit, as they should. Every fan base should be optimistic and hopeful that you're going to win the game. You should be that way, just like we used to be. But now I'm starting to relate, and I understand how the New England Patriots. Now, look, the Bills haven't won shit in terms of getting into a Super Bowl, but in terms of owning the Dolphins in this division, I'm starting to be able to relate to the New England Patriot fans. When we used to try to bicker with Patriot fans, they're like, come on, little kid, go play with somebody, your own size or whatever. How they would just own us. And it was never a rivalry to the Patriots. They were like, what, 28-3 or some crazy shit against us? It's kind of what it's like with Miami right now. Like, historically it's been a great rivalry with Miami, but this isn't really a rivalry anymore. This is just the Bills beating them twice a year.
Well, look, I think right now we're in a pattern where the Bills just are dominating the AFC East. Like, they're, if New England loses on Sunday, they're going to be 2 games up on whoever is there. They're just dominating. And like, for Miami, I think it's tough because since 2021, maybe 22, like, they've been close in a lot of these games, and they only had the one game that they won, which I was fucking at, sadly. But I still like Mike McDaniels a little bit. I mean, look, I think he's a great X's and O's guy. He's not a good motivator. I'm not going to sit. I have no idea if he's a good motivator. It seems like
he's not. He's not. He's not a leader, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure. I still like his X's and O's, but fuck Miami. I don't care. I don't want to talk about them in terms of that. But look, going forward, the Bills are 3-0. And like, I didn't think they were going to be 3. I thought they were going to be 2-1. There are things they have to work on, obviously, in terms of, I think the biggest issue is pass rush it a little bit. Maybe we have to put the anointing oil away for Joey Bosa. I know you had him on the Hall of Fame this last week and this week. But they just didn't.
He was okay this game.
No one on the defensive line was, aside from the one rookie, whatever the fuck his name is. You can say his name. But they need to have a little bit better of a pass rush. In terms, I think that's the biggest thing to take away from this. Because look, I thought the defense was okay. Actually, no, I don't think they're okay. They weren't great tonight. That's 2 out of 3 games. I could wipe my ass with the defense of them.
Well, that's the whole thing, though. Look, this team right now, 3 games in, this team reminds me of a carbon copy of last year. Here it is. Ho, ho, hum. The Bills are 3-0. Okay. The Bills have scored 30 or more points in all 3 games. You look at the box score, and again, Josh Allen, 213 passing yards, nothing crazy, but 3 touchdowns, no picks. They ran for 157 yards. James Cook ran for over 100 yards. Someone pointed this out in the live chat. I didn't realize it. 9 different guys caught a pass for the Bills offense. Again, Josh Allen was only sacked twice, and they didn't turn the ball over. So the offense, certainly not the problem. There's a couple drives, just like last year, where you're like, yeah, Joe Brady, keep your foot on the gas a little bit. You're a little too conservative. The same bitches we had last year, but at the end of the day, they're scoring 30 points every game. To your point, the defense has been the problem of the two. They did not get pressure on the quarterback. They did give up 21 points, but they got a turnover when they really need it. I'm looking at the drive charts too right now. So Miami had touchdown, punt. So it's 2 3-and-outs. Then they had a touchdown. Then they had a 3-and-out punt. Then they had a 3. Bro, I think we're wrong about this defense, other than the pass rush. Miami, look, that's 4 3-and-outs, Joe. And they got an interception. You know what? Again, we're reacting in real time here. You get 4 3-and-outs on an offense, it's not a bad day. And you got a turnover, too. 4 3-and-outs they forced. Okay. I mean, you're right about the pass rush, though, but you're right about the pass rush.
Yeah, they were still 10 and 15 on third, and they have to get that better. But look, it's a short week. It's a short week, so I'm going to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But they won by 10, And like I said, I just think I was not worried at all. I know you were angry during the game. I was not. I was cool as a cucumber. I really thought they were going to. I honestly thought they're going to still win by like 3 scores. I was like, they're going to, and that's how it felt to me from last year, where it was like they would have these games where, they would be shitty in the first half and then they would pull away. And I thought they pulled away. Look, there are things they got to work on. The pass rush, the lack of tackling. I'm more concerned about the defense a little bit more. But, it's at this point, like, we're not going to have a big, like, holy shit moment coming up until what? Like Atlanta, maybe? In terms of games, like
I'd say New England in week 5, man. That could be a pretty big game. Sunday night at home. They're the second best team in this division.
Sure. I mean, I guess you can look at it this way. But look, I think in totality, down, if you want me to take something critical of this, down the field passing, they need to figure this out. Like, they need to be a little bit more aggressive down the field.
Yeah, Josh Palmer didn't do shit this game. One catch, he's their best deep threat. Keon Coleman, kind of the same deal.
Well, look, you have fucking Josh Allen. He can throw the damn ball to the moon. Like, it doesn't even matter about the wide receivers at this point. Like, just run down. Like, Josh can get there. But, yes, they have to be better at that. They have to be better on third down. They have to be better on defense. But, look, the 3-0, I'll sign up for that. And I think they still have that everyone eats, because every week it's been like, look, week 1, it was Keon Coleman's show. Week 2, it was Palmer, Elijah Moore, kind of. This week, if you're looking at passing, it was Dalton Kincaid. That's what they want.
Yeah, I want to give, while I'm looking at the box score again, we're doing this in real time. I want to give credit to another player who had a good game tonight.
Who?
Terrel Shavers. He had a really good game tonight. He had 2 catches for 24 yards. He had a 17-yard catch, which was big, and it was on a third down as well. And I'll tell you what, that Khalil Shakir touchdown, the Bills' go-ahead touchdown, he had a beautiful block. Him and Kincaid. Well, I'm telling you, Kincaid had a good game of blocking tonight, too.
Yeah, I know. You got
Terrell Shavers had a couple good blocks. So Terrell Shavers is earning his keep. Between playing special teams, he's blocking, and now he's starting to catch some passes as well. There's no path right now. I talked about this before the game. Curtis Samuel is a very expensive insurance policy. I consider him a luxury at this point. He's not playing until somebody gets hurt. I promise you that. Especially when Elijah Moore is running off 30-yard catches to put a game away. He's not getting on the field.
Let me ask you this, though. Isn't that an indictment against Bean?
Yes.
He's a luxury pick. Like, fuck,
It's a terrible signing. I mean, I think everybody knows that at this point.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel, going back to special teams, like last week I asked you, it was like the most profound thing I said on the podcast last week, which you promoted, and I had no words in that entire thing. Is the kicking controversy dead now because Prater missed like a fucking
He
chip
missed
shot.
it by a million yards. Probably.
Yeah,
To be fair, I think everybody still thought ultimately Bass would get the job back. And what the conclusion was is that it's in January and you got to make a 58, 59-yarder. Bass has the leg that Prater doesn't. But you know what? That was one bad kick. He's still, what has he kicked now? 12, 15 kicks between extra points and field goals. Every one but one has been pretty perfect. So I'm not going to shit on Prater for missing that kick. But getting back to Curtis Samuel, yes, you are right. It is a bad signing and it is an indictment on Brandon Beane. But I am choosing to look at it as a luxury right now, where a lot of other teams, if Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle get hurt, they don't have the next guy up who's going to be any good to step up. The Bills,
how do you know?
Curtis Samuel, it's not like you got KJ Hamler or freaking Steven Gosnell from the practice squad or whatever who's got to step in. You got an established NFL player in Curtis Samuel ready to go if somebody gets hurt. So I'm kind of just taking that approach with it, but he's not getting on the field until somebody gets hurt.
I think that's a loser approach because he's been bad. Like, that's why he hasn't gone on the field. He's got like 5 catches as a Bill, I think, or something ridiculous. So
Who, Samuel?
Yeah, he doesn't have anything. He's got like 1 touchdown against Denver.
Well, he had a touchdown in the AFC Championship game. I sure gets the Chiefs on 4th down.
We'll put him on the Wall of Fame there, buddy. Sure, like, fine. He's a luxury pick. Let me ask you this, a couple things. Matt Milano's injury. I know this doesn't have much, and you'll probably talk about this later. I'm at the point where I don't want him to play until it really matters. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, play him 10 snaps against the Chiefs in the regular season, play him 10 snaps against, Eagles maybe, I guess, even though you could tell me not to, and save him for the playoffs. That's where I'm at with Matt Milano. Where are you at? Because I feel like my premonitions before the season, which were I was scared he's going to get hurt, and he's hurt. And we don't know. McDermott doesn't tell anyone anything, and the Bills beat bro ain't going to fucking dig for anything, other than where they can golf. But I feel I'm at the point to where I'm like, dude, save this guy for the playoffs. Have him play 10 snaps against a really good team. Where are you at with that?
Well, first, in terms of news, I would say it is a good sign. If you want Matt Milano back sooner than later, him not going on IR today before the game was big. Because this isn't another sport. It's not retroactive.
You're scared. Admit it. You're scared.
Let me finish my point.
Okay.
So that's good. He's not on IR. If he would have went on IR, he's out at least 4 games, okay? So the fact that he did not go on IR tells me that the Bills think he's going to be back within a couple games or less. It would be pointless and stupid to play him or Ed Oliver against the Saints next Sunday. That would just be dumb, and that's not going to happen. Neither of those guys are going to play. I can almost guarantee you that. Anyway, where am I at? I don't know, because I really think Dorian Williams is getting there, man. He's a good football player, but here's the deal. Shaq Thompson, you said it. He had a couple good plays today, but he had a couple missed tackles.
Yeah.
He's the one who's got my mind racing right now. It's Shaq Thompson, and this is what I mean, and here's why. Normally, I would say, I want Matt Milano back because the Bills are playing a lot more 4-3, and Dorian Williams will still be out there plenty as the third linebacker. But now with Milano, if he's back and Williams is out there, that's fine. But Shaq Thompson looks good. Do you want Dorian Williams out there with Shaq Thompson? What does Matt Milano have left? I guess is where you arrive at. I don't like the fact, though, to your point, I don't want a guy who's just going to play a couple snaps here and there. I know he's a veteran, but I don't think you could be a good player just playing like that. If you remember last year, he looked pretty rusty when he missed a lot of time and he didn't play a lot, and he came on a little bit. Either you play him, you put him in, you start him, and he plays 100% of the snaps, I feel like, or you don't play him at all. What you should be asking me is, should Dorian Williams continue to be the starter if Matt Milano is healthy enough to play? That's what I think we might be getting into that territory where, we were talking about a kicking controversy last week. We might have a Dorian Williams or Matt Milano controversy going on starting right now. Do you agree with that? People, if you're watching this in the chat, or if you're not and you want to leave a comment, let us know what you think right now. Are the Bills getting into a linebacker controversy? Let us know what you think in the comments.
I have to rewatch and see how Williams played. You're more in on it than I am, to be honest with you. But it's to the point to where maybe you have to play your 3 linebackers more, like Williams, Bernard, Milano. But then you take Johnson off the field. Like maybe you have to play more linebacker. I don't know. I mean, I get what your point is because you seem very high on Williams. But for me personally, I would save Milano more because I think he's snake bitten right now.
Yeah, but you just want to play him part-time. That's what you're saying you would do.
Play him part-time until the playoffs and then unleash him. But maybe he's not. I don't know. I have to see more plays from him. Like he wasn't good. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Mark in the live chat said this conversation happened last year, didn't it? Yeah, it did. And it's happening again. I think Dorian Williams is better than he was last year as well. Look, Matt Milano was awesome this summer. I said it. Bobby Babbitt said he might have been the best player in camp. Well, he was. And he played good against the Jets before he got hurt, though.
Yeah, you know who had a good camp too? Jason Voorhees, and he killed everyone. So he wasn't a good camper, buddy.
Jason in the live chat says Milano was clearly the better player, but it is time to factor in these injuries. Someone needs to be up to speed and ready to go. Sure. I mean, you do have to factor in these injuries. He keeps getting hurt, man. You can't run from that at this point. Mark, the camp bros in the live chat. By the way, go ahead.
What? No, I was going to say, like, where are you at? Look, I think in totality, the Bills won 31-21. Your tone, I think of you as somewhat even keel and like you're not as extreme as me, but where do you ever think about like your reaction being like we're being too picky? Like the 3-0? Are we being too picky? And look, I know tomorrow you listen to Podfather and he'll be like, this is the greatest team of all time. No, he won't. It'll probably be Airball Quinn will say that. But like, and then you'll like come back to earth and you'll be like, oh, you know what? They were great. But do you think at all, like, we're being a little bit too picky with them?
Yes, and I'll give you a great example. This game tonight, all right? So I watch it at home with my typical setup. My typical setup is I watch it at home with my wife, with my son, and with my son's girlfriend.
Wings, probably. Yeah,
no. With my wife, my son, and his girlfriend. And I said after the game, everything feels weird. Like my son, by the way, maybe he learned a lesson tonight. He did a FanDuel big parlay. He lost $1,600. I'm going to make fun of him now. He needed one more catch from Keon and one more catch from Shakir. So he was pissed off late in the game when he didn't get that. But anyway, didn't feel like a big win to him. My wife, who does not feel well, she's under the weather, in fairness to her. It was a very kind of vibe in the house. And I kind of felt more relief than joy from this game because it was closer than I thought it needed to be. Let me bring up a stat here in real time. And we're winding down, by the way, everybody. And I appreciate everyone who's been sticking around.
I got to Flushmore. Don't go away.
I know. We'll get there. So the Bills had, when you talk about the defensive line, okay, the Bills had 5 tackles for a loss in this game. You know who they were? Teron Johnson had 1. Terrel Bernard had 1. Shaq Thompson had 1. Tre'Davious White had 1. Trey White was good against the run tonight, by the way. And Daquan Jones had 1. The entire defensive line over 60 minutes of football only produced 1 tackle for a loss and no sacks.
They miss Ed Oliver
but everyone else is there, though. Everyone else is there. Well, Michael Hoyt is going to make. I feel like he's going to make a difference. By the way, AJ Epinesa too. You know the shit on people getting me a little annoyed. I'm a little bit annoyed with AJ Epinesa, man.
Oh well, yeah.
What
you know what?
When is he going to do something out there? I don't have the standard on him that I do with Greg Rizzo.
He looks like Roman Reigns, and like every fucking trade, everyone includes him in every trade on Twitter. Oh, trade him and like 3 first-rounders for Micah Parsons. I'm like, no one wants fucking AJ Epinesa, but anyways.
I'm sorry, somebody, Mike Hartle said, I don't miss Ed Oliver. You don't miss Ed Oliver. What are you a Bills fan? Because how do you not miss Ed Oliver if you're a Bills fan? John Sanders in a live chat said Miami is real fast, man. Yeah. Well, they are. You know what else Miami is? Down 3 starters on the offensive line. This should have been a game where the Bills defensive line ate alive the Miami front line, and they did not do that whatsoever. Yeah. Greg Rizzo AJ Epinesa, man. Where's Javon Sullivan this year? I was so high on him going into the season. Javon Sullivan.
Oh, he's a nobody.
Yeah,
You're high
well,
on everyone. You're a cougar. We
I
all
do
know
a
that.
show every week with somebody who doesn't know a third of the players on the team. That might be one of my favorite parts about talking Buffalo. Find me another podcast out there. Go ahead.
Bro,
Locked On
Javon
Bills,
Sullivan,
Cover One,
you know what?
Pod
Yeah.
Squad. Find me a show anywhere where the co-host doesn't know who a third of the
I'm a
players even are on
co-host.
the team.
Thank you. I mean,
Should
no,
we talk about Jordan Hancock being inactive? Should we talk
Oh,
about
no.
Landon Jackson
Yeah,
being inactive?
that
What's your
was
take on
that was-
those?
That was your training camp, bro. Like Jordan Hancock, he's active. I'm glad I wasn't on those podcasts where you were drooling over him, ball washing him. Oh, he's a great. And I'm like, all right, we'll see, buddy.
Let me see if I was
know
doing it, and we're going to get to, by the way, Joe is doing a mouth Flushmore. We're going to get to that in just a minute. And for people who don't know, if you're new, all season long, people do Mount Rushmores, the best of everything. Well, we like to do a Mount Flushmore, the worst of everything. And Joe's going to have his Mount Flushmore of worst Buffalo, Miami memories. I hope you got them written down because you're probably going to forget them after
I
4
got them on my
beers or
head.
whatever.
Unlike you, I remember everything. You fucking don't even remember what happened last night.
If we were doing a power ranking of the Bills' top 5 players from this game, number 1 would have to be Josh Allen. Number 2, James Cook. I think we would all agree on that.
Yes.
Josh Allen, James Cook. I'm doing this off the top of my head in real time. I haven't thought about this.
would
3, Terrel Bernard. Couple big plays and the interception. So he'd be 3, right?
Kincaid, I would say.
Kincaid, 4.
Yeah,
and you know
then
what? Because of the pressure he
Shaq
had,
Thompson, I thought Shaq Thompson was great tonight.
he did. But you know what? I think maybe Deion Walker would deserve it. By the way, Deion Walker had a couple nice run stuffs, or stops. I shouldn't say stuffs, but stops in the game as well. So, all right, Deion Walker. Who would be the, those are the studs. You know, people do studs and duds. Who would be a couple duds, the biggest duds from this game?
I mean, I would say Greg Rousseau. I mean, we haven't seen him in 3 weeks.
That's fair.
I mean, look, I don't know. You watch the film or you pretend to watch the film, and I haven't seen anything remotely interesting about him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He needs to be better.
I agree with you. Greg Rousseau, not good enough, man. And TJ Sanders, their 2nd-round rookie, he is, at this point, we're 3 weeks in now. The 4th-round rookie is significantly looking better than the 2nd-round rookie, and he's starting, too. Like, Deion Walker started this game. TJ Sanders is struggling. That's not to say, hey, it's early, bro. Maybe he wasn't ready for this role, and Larry Ogunjobi being suspended and stuff, that maybe he's in a role he's not ready for quite yet. But, man,
But
TJ
look,
Sanders, not good.
In totality, look, they're 3-0. I felt this should have been a bigger blowout than it was. I think I going back to the Kincaid, like, you know, he had it in defensive player. I think it could have changed everything. But like long term, I would like the Bills to pass the ball a little bit deeper than they have been. But I will go back to the Baltimore game. Like they did
when they
the
had
ball
to.
down the field, when they had to. And I do wish they would do that more. But if there's long term worry, it's the pass rush. The pass rush is not there. Like I don't even know how many sacks they have this year. Like 2, 3, 1.
Who, the Bills?
Yeah, I don't even
Well,
know.
they had 0 in this game. They played really good against Justin Fields. But now, you know what? Now you got me.
Yeah, it's the Jets. Like fucking Ryan Denny played good against the Jets, for God's sake.
Well, Bosa's had a
I know
sack.
Yeah,
They haven't had a lot of sacks.
Yeah, it's just they haven't had like much pressure, and that's.
God damn it! Now you got me interested right now. That
Well,
has been
you could talk about it on your Saturday podcast or whatever the fuck you do.
Well, they've had 1, 2, 3. So they had 6 sacks coming into this game, but nobody with more than 1. Everybody's had 1 sack, including this game. Now nobody's got more than 1 sack this season. Ed Oliver had a sack. I mean,
yeah, he had but
Daquan, Milano, Oliver, Bosa, Bishop, and then Groot has a half a sack. Which $20 million for a half a sack to 3 games is not great. And Zion Logue.
Look, I would just say it's a worry for me. But again, we're now at the point to where we're being somewhat picky against bad teams. And look, I don't know. Miami is a riddle trapped in an enigma. Like they have talent. They still won by 10, the Bills. Like
Joe, but they did. But you know what? Miami could have won this football game. Again, it was tied. It was tied, and they forced a punt, and they got a roughing the penalty or roughing the punter. Dude, I've said roughing the punter 4 times tonight. I have not said it right fucking one time. Roughing the punter penalty, that's just inexcusable, man. That killed them. That cost them 7 points. And then they're coming down to still tie the game, and then Tua made his one Tua play, and bam, interception. Miami could have won this football game, but you're not wrong. They won, and that's all that matters. And Miami's was not as bad on paper as they were, as we all thought coming in. We thought, I said it before the game, it's like people were acting like the Bills are playing the Saints tonight in prime time.
Yeah. I mean, I respect Miami a lot more. I thought, look, in coming out of this, I think the offense is fine. They have to figure out their downfield passing a little bit more. The front four worries me a little bit, but look, they don't have Ed Oliver in. So it's like,
yeah, but you can't be that reliable on one guy, man. That's what concerns me about this team.
Buddy, Ed Oliver is going to make other people better. I know you hate Ed Oliver, and you hate his horses, and you hate horses in general.
Real quick, before you get to Mount Flushmore, if I said, Joe, what is your single biggest concern about the Buffalo Bills? And you're only allowed one. That's it, just one. What is your biggest concern about the Bills? Despite being 3-0, coming out of this game, what is your singular biggest Buffalo Bills concern right now? By the way, if you looked up at the screenshot on Twitter, I'm taking a sip of my drink, like the screenshot, it looks like I'm about to throw up. It's the worst screenshot I've ever seen in my life.
You are ugly. So
I am. That's okay, though. But go ahead. What's your singular biggest concern about this team right now? No, but you can only have one.
I hate you for having me have one. Pass rush. That worries me. Because, like, we're going back to last year with the third down defense, and that's when you need to have a good pass rush. And, like, it's third down. Like, it's like fucking 3rd and 5, 6. You should be able to go after the quarterback. And, like, that's my biggest worry. My second worry is down the field passing. It needs to be a little bit better.
I said one. You're cheating.
Well, I'm just going to the second.
We're not power ranking them. Marino's legacy has a very fair one, too. I think this is very important. Third down defense.
Yeah, that too. That's an embarrassment, too.
Our guy Tooch agrees, too, as well. So, I would say that. Now, my answer would be, I would add to what you said, it's their dependency on Ed Oliver. Because this defensive line just didn't, again, for the most part, did not show up tonight. They did against the Jets, but the Jets.
It's the fucking Jets. But look, they're 3-0. Like we think about things like they have to get better at, but they're 3-0. I feel pretty good about them. If you're gonna power rank me, I'm burping all over the place. But
I'm laughing because I'm doing a live post game with a dude who's buzzed up and doesn't know some of the players on the team. This is the best. I love it.
Bro, Javon Solomon, like, my bad. I don't have him on my fucking rotisserie league, fantasy league. I know who he is. You said his name differently. Shut up. I got it under control, okay?
All right, let's get into we'll fly through these two because I do want to get to some comments, and I don't want the show to be much longer.
You should be happy about the third tight end who's like the best blocker of all time.
Jackson Hollis is showing out pretty well, man.
You're going to go get his jersey, fucking Lee Smith 2.0. I'm very happy.
Okay, all right. What do you got here? So this is your Mount Flushmore, a condensed version of your Mount Flushmore.
No, I'm going for at least 10 minutes.
Come on. Bills, Miami, worst memories here. Tonight could have been one, by the way, but it's not.
Well, during this whole week, everyone and their mother was talking about their favorite Miami fucking memories at the stadium. Everyone has the same memories. I have the same ones. But you know what? No one talked about how bad they were. And they were some bad ones. So that's what I'm going into. I got to go with the 92 game. Bills, Miami. Bills lose 37-10. It's a horrible game. I remember that game. Lewis Oliver had a freaking 103-yard return for a touchdown. Both teams are 4-0 going into that game, and like Jim Kelly was terrible in that game. He actually banged up his elbow, which I kind of think messed with him for the rest of the season. But it was a terrible game. Bad. So, but hey, the Bills, they ended up losing the division that year, but it didn't matter. They went to the Super Bowl. The next one, you got to go 96. Bills, Jim Kelly against Craig Erickson, which you would think, okay, Jim Kelly's going to win this game. He didn't. They lost 17-7. That's when Terrell Buckley got a pick six, and I just remember it like after the game, Jim Kelly said like I was terrible. He basically came like it was full Jesus moment, like I was terrible. And like it's on me. And then he retired at the end of the year. But that's when I watched it as a kid. I was kind of like, I think Jim's done, and he was done at the end of the season. So that game was terrible. And Terrell Buckley pick 6 with like when it was 14-7.
Mm-hmm.
And it was shitty. The next one, you might not remember this game because you probably don't, because you don't remember anything from 6 years ago. But in 2000, they played the Dolphins. They lost 33-6, which might have been like the worst game between the two teams in Buffalo. And that was the game where they had less than 100 yards passing. Rob Johnson, Doug Flutie, they went back and forth between the two. Or not back and forth, but like Rob started it. He was terrible. They put Flutie, and he was even worse. But that's a game that I remember where two things I remember. One, Wade Phillips switched to a 4-3 defense because Sam Rogers got hurt, and the defense was just abysmal. It was terrible. They gave up 1 billion points to Jay Fiedler. And then the one play I will always remember, this was the second to last game of that season. Freaking, they do a play action pass. Bledsoe does. Or no, I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? I got that mixed up. Anyways, moving on. This is what happens when you're tired. And then the last one, look, it's got to be the Rex Ryan last game. They have freaking, 10 men on the field. That was shitty. They lost in overtime. Tyrod's only game where he had freaking 300 yards, and that was bad. So, yeah. So that was pretty bad. The other game I got mixed up with the Reuben Brown thing it was 2003, and this is why I want to tell the story. Like, the Bills lost. That was when Bledsoe was horrible, and like they did a play action. And I always remember this. Bledsoe had like the ball for like 3 minutes. It wasn't 3 minutes, but it was forever. And he gets sacked, and Reuben Brown like saw the sack, and he was like this, like during the sack. He was so angry that he got sacked. And then the next day, if you remember, the next game against New England, Reuben Brown didn't play because he didn't want to get up out of bed. Because he's like, I don't want to get out of bed, and he was deactivated for that game, which was hilarious. But yeah, those are my.
I got one for you.
Oh, let's go. What do you got?
Well, all right. Now, in fairness, were you limiting this exclusively to Highmark Stadium?
Yes,
Bills,
it was
Dolphins? All right. Well,
yeah.
I got a Bills Miami worst memory. However, it's not in Buffalo. This one's actually in Miami, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's my worst Bills Miami memory because I was there.
I already know what it is. I already know what it's going to be.
It's
the Chris Chambers game.
No.
Oh, okay. Nope. Never mind.
No, I was at this game in Miami. I was living in Florida. I had moved there in 2016. A couple months after being there, we had a group of friends that actually came down to Florida. We went to Miami. It was 2016. The tailgate was fun. There's a lot of Bills fans, a lot of prick ass. Yes, a lot of prick ass Dolphin fans there. Anyway, we go there. We sit. The combination of the following things happen. A bird shit on my wife. Like when we were sitting down in the seat, like a piece of shit from a bird literally shit on my wife's head. So we had that. That was, you said it, the IJ game. Dude had fucking 214 yards rushing in that game. The Bills were winning at one time. They were up. Marquise Goodwin caught a bomb, or he caught a long catch and run from Tyrod Taylor. The Bills were up 17-6.
I remember
and they lost that football game. They lost 28-25. And if my memory serves me correct, I'm not 100%, but I'm almost 100% sure that's the game where that scumbag Jarvis Landry hit the cheap shot on Aaron Williams and effectively ended his career. I think that might have been that game as well. I would have to double check.
That was in Buffalo, that game.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I didn't remember that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that just would have added to it. Still my worst game. That game fucking sucked.
By the way, I'll say this. By the way, the Bills are one game behind Miami. I think it's like 62-61 now, the all-time record, which is insane because I do remember in the 90s, like the Bills were like 20 games behind that, even though they were winning a ton in the 90s against Miami. And now they basically have caught up, which is kind of amazing to me.
Quarterback got taken out by slipping on a mat at that practice field. Was it Cobb or Leinart? It was Cobb, I believe. He got a concussion. Yeah, it was Kevin Cobb. All right, let me get to let me get to a couple of our comments that I had
Yeah,
started.
who has questions? Anyone? Pat doesn't.
Yeah, if anyone's got some questions or comments, drop them. But
Pat doesn't manage.
Nathan Dane says sometimes I cry when I'm alone.
Is that a song?
I don't know. I was really upset at the beginning of the show.
Oh
I think
my
that
God.
might.
Like I got on here and I was like, "Hey, Pat," and he was like,
Well, let me refresh your memory again because we're well into the show, almost done at this point.
Pat lost 20 million viewers.
We had a live stream going, which is very difficult, by the way, to set up and execute in real time. In real time, shut up. And we had like 600 viewers in the first 5 minutes, and Joe just went mute all of a sudden. Something happened to the platform. I'm not saying it was your fault. Maybe you slipped some pizza grease or something on your volume.
Bro, it was your fault. No one heard you. I had everyone in the chat was going, "Where the fuck is Pat?"
Yeah, I guess I dropped. Anyway, platform issues, so we had to restart. So I guess that's kind of what he's talking about again. All right, so Mike McDaniel. What did he say? Ralph Wilson Sr. McDaniel was never even an OC. He was a run-game coordinator in Frisco, which is ironic since he's known for bailing on the run and passing too much. You know, I had a good conversation yesterday, Marcel Louis-Jacques on the show. Some really good insight on Mike McDaniel, man. I don't want to get into that. We're too late, but go back and listen to it. I thought he had some good stuff there. Marino's legacy, Milano makes a big difference. Kind of covered that. Look, if he's healthy and playing well, he absolutely makes a big difference. Look, but I thought Dorian Williams and Shaq Thompson were hardly the problem.
Well, look,
tonight.
You're a Cougar. You love the young guys on this team, on any team. You always so we'll see what happens with Dorian Williams. But
sure,
I we'll see what happens. I still think they need a difference maker on defense. Go ahead.
Yeah, his name's Ed Oliver, and hopefully he'll be back. I think Michael Hoyt can make a difference too when he gets back. I think he's going to be a good piece. We'll see. Anyway, Mark says, Pat, you don't sign Samuel that money to be a backup. No, you don't. Not ideally, you don't. Anyway, but
practice squad people, yes.
Well, no, that's what it is at this point, and you can either continue to just shit on him week in and week out, or you could just come to the mindset that it's a good luxury to have. Look, if Keon Coleman, which by the way, we didn't talk about him tonight. He had a really good catch on that third down quick slant. I love that Josh Allen had the trust to go to him in that. That was good. But he also dropped the pass that he should have caught. That's kind of the whole Keon Coleman experiment. And now we're 3 games in, and this is why you can't get too high or too low on a player too quick. What the hell did he do tonight, by the way? I know he didn't. So he had 8 catches for $112 in the first game, and then he had nothing pretty much. He had like 3 for 20-something yards.
You could spin it any way you want. You could say, "Oh, you don't know who the Bills' offensive weapon is going to be every game." Keon was the man in week 1. Last week it was Elijah Moore, and it was what the fuck is his name? Palmer. And then this week it was Kincaid. So
yeah, Keon had 3 catches for 20 yards. Well, it's everybody eats is back in full effect again.
Yeah,
I keep saying it. This is last year's team all over again, just hopefully with a different outcome in the AFC Championship game. That's what you got to hope for. But this is the same shit, bro. 3 straight games. It's been 3 straight weeks where someone else has led the team in receiving.
Here's the thing, though, Pat. And let me ask you this: in comparison to last year, the Bills are the best team in the AFC, right? Am I wrong? Baltimore, I think, is still there, but I think the Chiefs are in trouble.
The Chiefs are in trouble. I agree with that.
The Bengals are fucked, and the Bengals and Chiefs were in my top 5. Look out. Then you have the Ravens, and then you have probably the Chargers, who last year, if you remember, I was always worried about the Chargers, and they never got to the Bills. But we could sit there and compare this team to last year, and there are similarities, but at the same time, I don't think the AFC is as strong as it's 3 games, but if you want me to have a hot take, I don't think the AFC is as strong as it was last year.
I agree with that. I would say this. I think the Chiefs are in trouble. I will say I do think the Chargers are very good. Even though they lost, I think Denver is still a good team. I am not going to sit here and say, if I'm being objective and honest right now, that I think necessarily Buffalo's a better team than Baltimore. I think Baltimore still has the better roster. What I will say is that Josh Allen finds a way to win the biggest games and Lamar Jackson doesn't. That's until proven otherwise, that's what it is. That's the difference between these teams.
Should Javon Solomon, whatever the hell his name is, should he start every snap? Since you're flabbergasted, I didn't know his name.
No, I'm not surprised he didn't know his name. By the
Well,
way,
no,
it's his
I
third year
remember
with the
him.
team. It's his third year with the team, too.
I heard you say his name. I couldn't hear what you. I've heard of the guy. Like,
I know you have. You've heard of him. The
Yeah,
Chiefs
you
are
know
still suited. Troy Ellis says the Chiefs are still suited to beat us in the playoffs. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to. Well, I shouldn't say that. The Chiefs
It
are going
really
to get to the
depends
playoffs.
on the wide. Look, if Worthy and the shitty driver comes back and they're playing well, then we have to see how they do. Like they're missing our two wide receivers.
I saw this on social media. It said it would be so fitting. The Bills finally get the number 1 seed and they get a bye, right? Yeah. Guess who gets the number 7 seed and wins and beats the 2 in the first round and ends up going to Buffalo in the divisional round? The Kansas City Chiefs.
We'll
Good to see that away. All right, guys. Joe's yawning. He's in the bag. Just playing with you, man. It's late, dude. It is late.
It is late.
It is. And we're going to wrap this up. I do want to thank.
Listen to us on the podcast even tomorrow so Pat can make his $1 a week or whatever. So listen, even if you're in the chat, listen to the podcast tomorrow.
And subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Apple, Spotify. Even if you watch this show almost exclusively, even if you don't listen much, go to Apple or go to Spotify, type in Talking Buffalo, hit that follow button. It does help grow the channel. I will say that as well. But if I can maybe get through these 20 seconds without Joe cutting me off, I highly doubt it, but I'll try anyway. I do want to thank people on a second go around. It's way after midnight now, and we're still over 1,000 people who tune in live. So I do appreciate that. It's 12:49. Bro, it's almost 1 a.m.
Yes. Can we go to bed, please?
By the way, huh?
Can we go to bed, please?
John Cena's my
oh my God.
John Cena's my phone cover, by the way. Anyway, yes. We are going to bed. I do thank everybody. There it is. See, I give up. I need to start turning your volume all the way down when I talk, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to do this uninterrupted. But thank you, everybody, for watching, for listening. This is a Friday episode, so I won't be back until Monday. Joe will be back, hopefully a little more sober, hopefully a little less tired. Hopefully he'll learn a couple more players' names on the football team.
You mispronounced Solomon. I was like, who are you talking about? Because you bring up guys who are like the 58th guy in the depth chart. I'm like, who?
All right, we'll have some
Sunday night.
We'll have some fun. Joe's gonna pour through the film over the weekend.
I'm gonna be the host on Sunday night. We're gonna talk politics too. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, okay, that's not gonna happen. I promise you that right now. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate you. Have a good one.